Greetings. I'm listening.
Great to meet you.
I've been expecting you.
For the good.
You come get the voodoo.
Hey there. And you are?
Hello and welcome to Control Alt WoW, the podcast for those of us who love video games and virtual reality and having fun. Today is Tuesday, April 15th, 2025, and this is episode 822 entitled The Friends We Make in Video Games. I'm April PVD, and with me is Grand Negus. Hi, Grand Negus. How are you?
Hi, April. I'm doing fine. I'm just, we have a little sad news to share, which kind of is hinted at in the title. But
it's interesting because as we play online, we make so many friends, and through the years, in Alea Iacta S, were you in AIE? No, you weren't. Okay.
No, I wasn't.
And in Clan of Darkness, I know we had several funerals, processions, or commemorations in the game for people that that passed away. One of the ones we had in the early years of AIE, there was a gentleman named Zathras, and he was a very big part of the guild. His name came...
probably a Babylon 5 fan.
Yes, his name came from Babylon 5.
Yep.
You are the one. No, you are not the one.
Yep.
I need to go back and rewatch Babylon 5.
It's such a good series.
Well, it had an arc, and it's interesting because... sorry, we're getting sidetracked, but it's okay. There are different TV shows I've gotten hooked on in sci-fi, and it's interesting because I've been listening to podcasts, not podcasts, but YouTube channels that talk about Star Trek, and they compare and contrast Voyager and Deep Space Nine. And in Deep Space Nine, they were allowed characters were allowed to develop, and there were story arcs, that were integral.
Mm-hmm.
And in Voyager, it wasn't allowed because the studio executives would do things like they wanted most of the episodes to be standalone, because they wanted to sell it to syndication, and they were worried about the fact that if you went in and you turned on the TV and you watched one episode and it alluded to other things that happened, that you would not be able to follow it.
Yeah,
but it's just,
that you missed one episode or two, and then 2 weeks later when you came back from holidays or came back from your business trip or whatnot, you didn't know what was going on. Yeah, sure.
Right, like for instance, Nog being a kid in one episode, and then all of a sudden he's in a Starfleet uniform in another one, or his father working with O'Brien when he used to tend the bar. But that was what was good about these shows. But Babylon 5 had such a deep arc, and if you weren't following it, oh gosh, you would miss so much, especially with the... Go ahead.
Yeah, and JMS is an amazing writer. He
had a vision.
Yep.
And that's what happened with Firefly. Firefly lost people because they were playing, when they first, even right out the gate, they were playing episodes in the wrong order. Did you ever watch?
I heard that they did that the studio pretty much after the pilot. I can't remember exactly, but someone said in some interview or what, that they basically, after the first couple of shows were filmed, they already knew that they weren't going to renew it.
So they just threw them out in different order.
Yeah, exactly.
So you didn't understand what was going on with River. With Summer, and with her. What was going on with her brother. What was going on with Jane and his backstabbing, and it was just really sad. So anyway, Babylon 5.
They were really surprised by the success of Firefly.
Yeah, and that's why Serenity, the movie, got done, although the ending of that was so heartbreaking. But the reason I brought up Zathras was that yesterday there was a post on Facebook posted by Renee, who I knew in World of Warcraft as Iceflow, that her husband, who is JJ, and he was Caoboi, Caoboi. He had that name because he was a Tauren, and which was cowboy. He was in a car accident and it was fatal, and he passed away. And it broke my heart to know that he was gone. Now, I was friends with him on Facebook, so I still saw some posts from him. But, I don't know if I don't think they were still playing World of Warcraft. But they were a big part of Ctrl Alt WoW. They actually wrote and sang and performed the Clan of Darkness theme song, which I put in the end of the last episode. I've been putting little things from, I don't know, I just wanted to use the material that we had, and I put they have it. We are the mighty Clan of Darkness, fighting for bunnies' rights. It was such a good theme, and it brought in the fact that Vrishna was against us killing bunnies, and it was just such a beautiful song. I'm gonna put it in at the end of this episode as well. They met in World of Warcraft. Iceflow moved from where she was living to where he was, and they eventually got married, and they had twins, and they were such a big part of Ctrl Alt WoW and World of Warcraft, and he will be totally missed. They were such a beautiful couple, and it's amazing how the community online, gets together. And, we've never met face to face, but I felt like I knew them. And Caoboi, you will be missed. And Iceflow, my heart is with you. This is really sad.
Yeah, my heartfelt condolences. Yeah.
We had some wonderful times playing together. We used to run dungeons with Vrishna with them. And they had a podcast called the Valentine Cast, where they talked about stuff and about gaming and things. And I think we had done a podcast on something. Oh, it might have been on. Well, I forgot, but Iceflow and I had done one. I'm trying to think, what was it on? Was it on? I don't think it was on Babylon 5, but it was on some show. But my heart goes out to them. It's how it is. You've known people that you've met and you feel like you're close to them. I mean, you got to meet some of them because you went to BlizzCon.
BlizzCon, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So just want to talk about that for a moment. But I think it's your turn to go, Forrest. How was your week?
Yeah,
Or your 2
my
weeks?
week was well. Let's start uh, another way. I mentioned last week, I think, that we were going to have the Easter event
Right.
next week, which is last week now, uh, because of our bi-weekly schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So I put the post from the lodestone in the show notes, and it's the event is called Hatching Tide, and it's got um a very, very cool reward this year, and we've never had this type of reward before. For I think, with the one exception being the Rising, which is the birthday event. So this year we get a kind of dome egg, half egg shaped umbrella
Oh.
as a reward. And if you look at the show notes, you can see the top picture, which isn't a screenshot. It's the main art from the event. You can see the lady on the right side with that orangey, yellow, red
It looks like a
umbrella.
Tiffany type, the Tiffany lamps.
Yeah,
Yeah, it has that kind
yeah,
of feel to it.
yeah. So I'm not going to go into why it exists, because obviously we don't want to spoil anything. It's a really funny, interesting story. Most of the quest lines are really, really cool, really, really good. This one is no exception. So yeah, you basically go to the amphitheater in Gridania. You have to be level 15 to do the quest. You don't have to be able to fly the airship. So if you have any other way of getting out, if you are in Thanalan, if you start in Uldar, you can get flown over or run over or whatnot. If you're running yourself, obviously be careful, because there are quite high level mobs there that are out to get you, much like in WoW, in the wetlands, when all the night elves did their death run
Right. Yes.
to Ironforge. This would basically be similar. So yeah. Yeah, it's a really nice event. It started last week on the 9th, and it will end next week on Thursday, April 24th. But, and this is something I don't know why they haven't done it, there is no event-related sale yet. Normally, they have the items at a discount or on sale that are related to the active event. And what they are doing in at the same time is adding the rewards from last year's event to the store so you can buy them. This year, though, and this might be a reason why they haven't done it, there is no separate Hatching Tide reward from last year because they threw the two events, Ladies' Day and Hatching Tide, together because of the moon calendar. So the events were so close together that they basically just threw them together and made a crossover event out of the two, which resulted in the fact that we only got one reward for, in essence, two events. So we only got quote unquote, only got one mount rather than something separately for the Little Ladies' Day and for Hatching Tide, like we did this year. This year they were back to being separate events because, again, the moon calendar and the date of Easter is so far apart from Little Ladies' Day that it wouldn't make sense to throw them together again. So, yeah. Other than that, I've been doing a bunch of leveling of mostly, though, I've been role-playing, as I hinted at last week, that I started doing that. I can't remember what I told you guys about it last week, so
you said you had found someone who you were playing with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we both have our Lalafell characters, and we just finished 2.0, which is the base ARR content, and we finished 2.1 too. So we're in 2.2 now, or starting on it relatively soon. Today we went and decided that we were going to, and this is the first time we've done this, we leveled a job together. So this is the Lancer job, which turns into the Dragoon. It's the one where you have literally a lance. That's why it's called a Lancer, obviously. And we pretty much did the questing, the leveling together. And it's insane how fast you can get through the low-level content now, because you have these low-level experience bonus items that you can equip. You have, let me see if I can remember all of them. The basic one that you can get, that quote unquote everyone can get, is a ring that gives you 30% bonus, experience bonus. And that ranges from 1 to level 30. Then you have, if you either buy a special pack. Let me just see. It's I can't remember what it's called. Let me just quickly see what it's called. It's a new thing that they introduced on the on store, which I think it's really, really nice. It's like a little. There we are. It's called a value bundle, adventurous supply kit, and that is something that that is account wide, which is really, really good. So if you buy or if you pre-purchase an expansion with Final Fantasy 14, you get a couple of items as a bonus, in-game items. One of them is a earring of the respective expansion. And that earring rewards you 30% experience bonus up until the the current maximum level. So for the next upcoming expansion 8.0, if they were to release the new pre-sale, you would order that, you would get a earring that is good for levels 1 through 100, because the new maximum level in the next expansion is going to be 110. So it's always that 10, the current maximum that is not the newest expansion. So, and this earring that you can get from this adventurous supply kit is the earring that you got from last expansion's pre-sale, which is level 80. So the current one that you get is level 90, because the current maximum is level 100. So 10 subtract 10 levels from that is level 90. You get that one, so that's a total of 60% experience gain up till level 30. And then the remaining 30 from the earring until level 90 or 80 or whatever whatever earring version you have. Then we got the refer a friend headpiece. That is a level 1 to 25 bonus of 20% additionally. So you are up to level 1 to 25, a total of, do the math, 85%. Then the remaining 60 to level 30, and then the remaining 30 to level whatever your earring is worth. And then the newest one is the second ring that you get, which you can only obtain if you do a set of training missions at level 49. And that ring will give you again, 30% from 1 to 60.
Wow.
So that means, again, you have...
Will that stack with like anything else?
Stacks with everything, yes.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. So that means from 1 to 25, you are now at 105% bonus. And then you have the remaining 90 to level 30, the remaining 60 to level 60, and then the remaining whatever your earring is to... You have your remaining 30%. And they all stack, yes. The only caveat, so to speak, is that you can only use some of these items with battle jobs. The only item of those 4 you can use as a crafter or as a gatherer is the headpiece, because that's a different kind of source, and because it's unique to the refer a friend campaign. So that's probably why they give you the bonus there from 1 to 25 for any job that you have, contrary to all the others where you have to be a battle job or class. So yeah, and again, that's really... they are not shy of giving you experience bonuses in this game. The other bonuses that you can get are bonuses for your gatherers or your crafters from items that give you a time-limited buff and or a volume limited buff. So if you buy a experience item, and this is off the top of my head since I'm not in the game currently.
Right.
So don't quote me on the exact numbers, but they should be pretty fair. If you buy one of the items that give you bonuses for crafting or gathering at your grand company, which is your city military organization, you get 20% for 2 hours. So that's a time limited, but fixed number. If you buy the same type of item with a special script vendor, which is a currency that you get from either gathering or crafting, and then turning these items in, or from fishing. If you gather, if you go on ocean fishing trips and you unlock the script vendor, the more fishing points you get in the contest, the more scripts you earn. And with those scripts, you can. There are 2 kinds of scripts: one for crafters and one for gatherers. And you can buy gear for them, or different materials, or different recipe books, stuff like that. But you can also buy those boost, those experience boost bonus items. And those are not time limited. Those, well, yes, they are, but they are more volume limited. So the lowest one is, let me see if I get the numbers correct. From up until level 70, you get 150% bonus on your craft or gathering, respectively. Up to a total of 1.75 million total bonus granted. And that bonus lasts for that buff. It is an item that you use, and on use you get the buff that awards that what I just mentioned. And that lasts 17 hours. So either the buff runs out eventually after 17 hours, or you use your 1.75 million experience points in bonus. So whichever comes first, right? Mm-hmm. Then there is the next stage, the higher level version of that is again 150% to level 70, and then it's 2 million rather than 1.75 million. And then you have a third one that's up until level, again, 150% to level 80 this time. So that's a newer one because the threshold, the maximum level is higher.
Right.
But I can't remember what or how much the number of or the volume number is. But they're all 17 hours. So, or 18, 17 or 18 hours. So it's again, they aren't shy in providing you with those kind of insane bonus EXP, and you really feel it because leveling is so much faster. And then there is one more, and that is how do I explain this? If you and I can't remember if it's only battle jobs or if it counts for gatherers and crafters too. But I think I know it's definitely for battle jobs. So I'm going to stick with that for now. So if you leveled your character, your job to, let's say, level 50, right? And that's your highest job. Let's say I leveled my dragoon to level 50. Mm-hmm. And I want to start a new job. Say I want to be a rogue now. So I unlock the rogue job or class, and then I start leveling that. For the period from 1 to 49, I get a 50 or 100%, I think 50% bonus, EXP bonus, because I already have a higher level job. So that means whenever you have a higher level job, any job that is below your highest level job will get these 50% bonus additionally. And it all stacks. So you can do the math yourself. it's pretty insane. And now you go to WoW and you, I mean, it's I don't know. You go to WoW and you're lucky if you get your 20% birthday EXP bonus for the 2 weeks that the event goes on. Guys, come on, that can't be really.
Wow.
That's just something that it just doesn't fit. But on the other side, they want to make money with the boosts. So yeah. And because your character is your class in WoW, the boost is so much more important. You can buy boosts in Final Fantasy XIV too, but that's only for one job at a time. So if you want to buy a boost for your entire character, be prepared to pay for 34 boosts. No, you can't do that because you can't boost gatherers or crafters, but 19 battle jobs.
Wow.
Times $25 a pop for a boost. Yep. And then the MSQ boost on top of that. So 20. 20 times 25. Yep.
What's MSQ again?
Main story quest, main scenario
okay,
quest.
gotcha.
That's like the. So, yeah, if you want that, then yeah, I think that's something where I can totally see that this system is more agreeable. The fact that you can play multiple jobs in Final Fantasy XIV and you can focus on one of them, or play all of them, or something in between, where in WoW you only have one class and you can't do anything else. If you want your character not to be a druid anymore but a rogue, it doesn't work. You can't even switch. Not even paid switch. You have to make a new character.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, have you ever heard of that you can change your class in WoW?
No, you can't. No, definitely
No.
not.
Right, yeah.
Oh, you know what? And I'm late to this. I don't know if you knew about this, but a couple of years ago, they started a new version of WoW called Hardcore.
Yes, they did, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I just saw a blurb about it, and it's like, isn't that what WoW Challenges was? They
Kind of, yeah.
kind of stole
Yeah.
that thunder. But anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's a thing. It's basically what you have in or had previously, or still do have in ARPGs like Diablo.
Right.
You tick the box to set it to hardcore, and whenever you die, you're dead.
Right. They have that in Legendary Tales too. You have
Yep.
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
So
it's a
and that's integrated into the server because you have to play on a designated hardcore server to play hardcore in WoW. So you can't quote unquote just do it officially, unofficially.
Right. The only thing I liked about doing it with the WoW challenges is that if I got so far and then I did die, I still could use that character as something else.
Exactly. That's what I meant. You can't do it officially, unofficially, because your character is gone then.
Right. There's no coming back.
No, no. I don't know if you, again, we both haven't played WoW for years now, but I
Yeah.
don't know if there is a way to basically copy your character over to a different server.
I bet you I think yeah, but it was a fee if I remember.
Again, I don't know if
Character
there is a way.
transfer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, might be, and I wouldn't put it past Blizzard to offer that service, quote unquote, and make a bunch of money from that.
Yeah. Well, it is all about the money.
Of course, it is all about the profit. Yeah. So, yeah. So as I said, with the role playing, we got to. I can't remember how many hours we played earlier today, but we got to level 31 or 32. So we were through most of the class part of the Lancer. Just have one or two more class quests to do, and then it's on to unlock the job that is Dragoon, because that's basically the Lancer is the class to the job Dragoon. So it's the upgrade, so to speak. Much like you have Gladiator becomes Paladin or Marauder becomes Warrior, stuff like that. That's in the same way you have Lancer becoming Dragoon. We chose that one because we wanted to play the Heaven's Ward expansion. That is the first expansion for the game, the 3.0 content. We wanted to play, or we want to play that as Dragoons because the environment of Heaven's Ward is where the Dragoons come from. And the main story quest, the main scenario quest, the MSQ, has these sprinkled in diversions and special dialogue stuff if you are a Dragoon while you do it. So you get special dialogue, special content. I've done a couple of quests that way in previous playthroughs, but I've never played a Dragoon through the entirety of the Heaven's Ward MSQ, and we are going to do that with these characters.
Sounds like fun.
Yep, that it is, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun. We both have our Catgirl characters. We have I can talk a little about it. And we have our houses directly next to each other on the beach in Mists in Limsa. we were lucky enough that she got her house next to mine on the empty plot, and we basically helped each other out decorating it. Them. And then, like I said, we made the Lalafells, and they are kind of like the Lala the cat girls and all our extended character alts and whatnot. They're all our aunties. So the family of the two Lalafells. So it's really cool to then talk in that way too. Obviously, role playing, and then getting into all sorts of mischief, and it's, I don't know, it's just such a different way of playing the game. I've never played any game this way. It's really awesome. And yeah, so we found out that my house, McCollon's house, my cat girl has she's like I talked about this before. Like she has this science lab, and I showed it when I showed the screenshots, and our Lalafells are trying to break into the trap door and the hidden door in the basement to see what's in there. So, but obviously without success because you can't open them. So, and no, it's really fun to role play in all sorts of ways. And then we have a new neighbor that just got their house like 2 weeks ago, roughly.
Oh, wow.
And it's the third plot in the row down by the water.
So you can see the house popping up?
Excuse me?
You see the house, like you see an empty spot and then you see them move in, or?
Yeah. You have okay, so when you win the lottery for your plot, you pay the amount that the plot costs. So let's say for a small plot, you pay, say, 3.5 million gold or gil. If you win the lottery, you own or you rent whatever the plot. There isn't a house on it yet. Then you have to buy a deed to build the house. And then you pay that money on top. That's like another roughly 450,000.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But that includes the house itself, right? So you can select whatever parts you want to to use. There's like 3 different. There's like a wooden exterior, a stone exterior, or a concrete exterior in the area where I am. And then you can choose one of the 3. And once you select one, then the house gets built. And that's just like it pops up. There's no building or whatnot. The only thing is you, as the owner, gets to see the cutscene of here is your new house, right? It's like an overview, a pan over the area where your plot is, and then you see the house. And then you can go ahead if you want to and change the exterior. There are 4 or 5 components to a house. 4, I think, base components. You have the walls. You have 5. You have the walls, the windows, the door, and the roof. And then you can add optional things like awnings on the other, on one of the sides. I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. And you can have a fence. Or you can have a completely unique set of walls that is one complete unit that replaces everything and has a thematic look that shows a house within a specific theme. And one of them is the one that I have, and another one is a wooden house where you can really see the grass growing on the roof, and you see that the house basically is built around a tree, and you can see the top of the tree growing out of the house, so to speak. And that style is the one that the new neighbor uses. But, and this I've never seen before on any other house, if you walk around the house to the back side, there's a little pedestal, a little terrace, a little deck that you can walk up on with its own little fence and a door leading to, I don't know, because you can't open the door, obviously. You can only enter through the front door. But my friend and I, we were role-playing something to the effect of we need to break in to see what's on the other side. So it's basically finding out all the mystery, being all mischievous. And after we couldn't get the door open, again, obviously, we snuck inside the house to see what's on the inside, where that door leads. And since the door isn't physically there on the inside. We didn't find out. So it has to be obviously a secret room somewhere, right? So we ran around and still didn't find it. And yeah, so stuff like that. It's so cool to come up with ideas like that and then enact them. It's yeah. I thoroughly enjoy myself, and we are enjoying ourselves. It's really gave me, well, has given me a new way of playing the game, and very, very much like it. And that's been my week.
Oh, nice. All right. I really need to get back into Final Fantasy because but I know it's going to take a lot for me to even get a house, but it's all so neat. And of course, the graphics are so wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, I've been in VR, and the first thing I wanted to talk about, Legendary Tales. I haven't played much. I'm still waiting for that friend who got a laptop, but she couldn't get going on it. But what I've really been doing is sail. I got obsessed with the gold fishing rod that I talked about last episode, and I've gotten up to 740,000. So I just need 260,000 more, and I'll have my my gold fishing pole. The only thing is, I've been neglecting my, when I was playing Sail before, I would get on my Meta account and do the dailies, because the blue coins, you can earn up to 150 blue coins every day. And the blue coins are the ones that you buy cosmetics. And that if you want to get them really fast, you can use actual money to buy them. But so I would get on Meta, do the daily quest, which was usually going out and getting specific stuff from crates or from doing the skull events, and then putting them in the chest that's at the port, and then that you get 100 every time you complete the challenge. But then there was also you could spin. There was another place right next to it where you would pull down like a slot machine thing, and you would spin, and you would get anywhere from 10 to 50 coins. But actually, I've kind of slowed down on that. I'm still doing it every day, but I have like 5,500 on my Meta account of blue coins. They haven't brought anything new that I like. My cosmetic and I put a picture in the show notes of my purple set, and I really just love that. The cosmetics are either for your clothing, your hat, chest, shoes, or peg leg, and the color of your sail and the color of your boat. And I'm really happy with the two colors I have now. I have the purple color, and I have a black sail on the Meta account. The interesting thing was I also bought the Steam account, and I got that mainly. And anytime I buy anything on Steam, it's PC VR. I got kind of hooked on going between the two with Zenith, because the graphics on the PC VR are usually always going to be so much better than on the Meta. But I really couldn't tell the difference with the Steam and the Meta account on sale. So I kind of stopped playing on the Steam account because of the challenge, because I only had like 30,000 on my Steam account. when I was getting on the Steam account, I wasn't as go-hung as going out and getting money as I was on the Meta account. So I just decided to, just 1 million coins. That's a lot. So here was my dilemma. I want to get it as fast as possible. There was, doing the big boss, and I talked about that last time. You get the 5 blue skulls, you put them in the altar, and you have to fight the big boss. It takes a lot of effort. If you get hit, you lose. You have to go back to the port, get your ship again, and you lose anything that you had on you. You go back to 0. So usually when I go out to do that big boss, I don't have anything on me that I can lose, but it does take time. So I decided to try to just do skulls, but I went out with my friend Shira, and we were doing gold skulls, and we got ambushed. Now I had the skulls cost money. So the 3 events that you can do, there's 1 gold skull, which you do on the ship, and they cost 2,500 a piece, but you can get anywhere from 7,000 to 9,000 gold back. The silver skulls cost 1,000, and you can get 3,000 back. The bronze skull cost 500, and you can get about 1,500 gold back. But the tricky part is that when you do the skull events, you are fighting the mobs. There's the different mob, the skeletons and the guy with the guns and the little critters that run around. On the gold skulls, you're fighting on the boat, which you can shoot from your ship, but it's easier to get on the boat. And I have died a few times, and then you have to either hope that the person you're with gets your chest. When you die, all your stuff goes into a chest that you can then turn back in and try to recoup some of your loss. But either way, after you fight and you get the treasure that drops from the chest, and that's after you do each event, key drops, you go and open a chest, and all the treasure goes into your chest. It doesn't count until you go back to the port and you sell that treasure. So when we got ambushed doing the gold skull, I lost 6,000 gold. And that really, yes, you are pirates, but when I see somebody doing the gold skulls, I don't go near them. And I guess it depends on how you want to role play your piracy. Of course, the whole thing is that we are, diabolical. We're pirates, and as I've said before, pirates are criminals. And I like the sailing part. I do like it. And there was a couple of times when I have gone up against people and I have, used my cannon and I've killed them. But I don't go out of my way to attack anybody. But if you attack me, I will attack you. So, but I'm trying to get my gold fishing pole. And, every time I get attacked and I lose what I have, it just feels like such a setback. I was at the time when we got attacked, I was at 645, and I was trying to get to, I gave myself a daily goal of 50,000, and that's a lot of work. And I felt like I lost like an hour of my life by losing that 6,000 gold. But you can go you can go on a private server. Now, if I go on a private server, the only risk is that I will get killed, get overwhelmed by when I'm doing the event, because the mobs come at you really fast. You have to keep track of your health, which is on the back of your hand. You keep some healing potions with you. But it just feels like, and it feels like it's kind of, I don't know how to say it, but it's kind of exciting to be on a live server and know that you have the risk. But I decided I want to get my gold fishing rod. So I did an experiment. I went on, I took 3 silver skulls. I went down to where you do one of the events. And I got about 9,000 gold from doing 3 of the 1,000 skulls. So I made 6,000 gold. So then I went on a private server and I did the same thing, and it was the same amount of money. I do know on the private server, when you open crates, you don't get as much stuff out of the crates. A lot of the crates are empty on the private server. So I guess they're trying to get you to go out and socialize and, have the pull of being in a multiplayer game. But like I said, I wanted my gold fishing pole. So I went to a private server, and what I would do is, and it's really a lot of fun. Sailing takes at least, depending on the breeze that's going, it takes about 4 or 5 minutes to get from the port to where the event is for the Silver Skull. So I would, while I'm on the ship, I'm listening to my own music. I'm listening to my iPhone, and I would put on dance music, and I would dance. Sometimes it was really good when I needed steps. Like on Sunday, I went out with some friends, some coworkers, and I didn't get my normal amount of steps. When I'm playing or when I'm chopping wood or doing different things in different games, I'm working and I get my steps in. And of course, when I work out, I work on the elliptical as well. So it was handy I actually spent like 2 hours just going back and forth dancing when I'm sailing. And then when I get to the event, I would listen to an audiobook. I'm listening to iRobot. Have you ever read or listened to iRobot, the actual Asimov story?
No.
No. But did you see the movie?
Nope.
Okay. They did a really good job with the movie because the book is nothing like the movie, but it's interesting. So I did that, and I actually got up to, I'm actually at 700, and like I said, I'm at 755, almost 60,000 gold doing that. So that's really fun. And I really like the mechanics of sail. I love being out on the water. I love really fighting because I'm using my swords. So the other thing I've been doing was Medieval Dynasty. They're having an Easter celebration where you can find eggs and make special recipe. And I did finish there's a quest line now where you're going out and getting these rare animals. I got my rare boar, and I got the recipe to make the crossbow, and it was harvesting time, which also gave me some steps, and I did do some chopping. I haven't gone back to making planks yet since I remember a few episodes ago I had to go to the ER because I pulled a muscle doing the planks, but I haven't gone back to doing that. The other thing that I've been playing 2 new games, well, 1 old game and 1 new game. Alicia, which is an old game that they updated, and it's really it's an MMORPG. I got in. I've been doing the quests, and I put some screenshots in the show notes. They really are doing a good job with it. You have a lot of quest givers, and they have fishing, they have hunting, they have different. You can use all the different weapons, but as you gear up, if you cater to the cloth with the intellect, you'll be better with your magic. If you do with the leather and the agility, that's going to make you a better person with the bow. And of course, if you get your the iron gear, the heavy gear. You'll be better as a tank. The only problem they have is that they have a problem with the voice system, because that's a thing that's very essential to VR, is that you have voice, because you're using controllers and there's nowhere to type. I was thinking about the fact that back in the day, when we did World of Warcraft, sometimes we did use Vent, but for the most part, it was more normal to type. You guys do typing, right? For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, but there's a problem with Alicia, in that you can hear everybody, and it's a little bit disconcerting when you're coming up and you hear somebody else just talking, and it's not a proximity thing. They're just somewhere else on the server, or they could be in a building next to you. So, when you get in when I was playing with Shira, my friend from Zenith, and we ended up having to get into a party and change the chat because there's no other way we could hear it. I know what I was going to talk about. She wanted to help me. She's at level 10. I was just starting out. And I don't know. I really feel better when I'm with somebody else who just starts out. I know she was being nice. She really helped me figure out a lot of things. And she took me to some of the areas that were a little bit higher for me to help me get leveled. And so she was healing me and showing me where to do the killing. I know she was being nice, and I didn't want to offend her because she was really helping. But I feel like you lose some of the flavor when you don't figure out stuff on your own. Do you know what I mean? When someone says, come over here,
yes.
Click here, kill that. I mean, I know they're being helpful. And that was a thing that happened with Zenith and with that guild that I was in, was that they were, and it's basically carrying people. I decided, I found out that I also had Alicia on the PC VR side. So I decided to go over there and start over. And, a lot of the things that she was telling me was helpful, and I figured out some things on my own, but I really liked starting over and doing it on my own. And so I started over. I haven't gotten as far as I had with her on the meta side, but I really feel like I'm learning better. And I put a screenshot in the show notes of what my character looks like in the beginning. I do have some more gear. And the quest givers, I showed some quest givers. The screenshot shows quest givers and some other players in the background. The only thing that I found was a little bit uneven for me was that she had a pet named Wolf. The pet was red to me, and it just scared me every time the pet would come near me, because I always see, when you see another character being red, you think it's going to attack you. And so that was kind of fun. Kind of weird. I'm looking forward to going back in and playing that some more. I also did one of the events in Zenith, and I put a screenshot of me with some of the guys at the end of the event. We did the cosmetic craze. It's one of the things I do every other week, and I just enjoy it. So I've also been doing my exercise in VR, and I did some mix-up with some stuff because when I record everything I do in VR. I don't know why, but I sometimes I put some of it on my YouTube channel. Sometimes I just like to, put stuff together. I'm using a thing called XSplit on my PC laptop. It's XSplit Broadcaster, and it records that, and it captures the gameplay in a couple of ways. One way is if the game is on Steam, I can add the game directly to the app, the XSplit app. But if I'm using my Meta headset, I have to cast what I'm looking at onto a web page, and then I set up the broadcaster to record the web page. So that's the only way I can record. And, most of the games I'm playing, Medieval Dynasty, the Train Sim World, which I'm still playing and I'm loving. And, the Train Sim World, the other day when I got with my coworkers, well, I'm retired. I still call them my coworkers. I don't know what else to call them. Then they're still
I do still call my coworker too.
right. So I was showing them some of the scenes from the game, which is where you're running a Metro North, which is a local passenger service for in Connecticut, and these guys were actual some of them were conductors, and a couple of them were engineers, and they have to know the characteristics of the area that they're running. And they were recognizing, that's so-and-so place over by so-and-so. So it was really neat to know that Train Sim World was being accurate with its gameplay. And I get on and do a few runs, because you have to learn each territory or run a train in each territory before other territories open up. So it's really interesting to play. So that's working really well. But one of the things that I love to do, and I put a screenshot in the show notes, is with Light Sport, which is one of the, I do a series of working out. I do one with Fit XR, which is a game that works. They have a warm-up, and then they have a series of things that I do in there, like I'm bending and moving around and hitting these, what they call cues. And that is a game that I was grandfathered into when they first did it. They had, it was just a one-time payment, and then they became subscription. So I have access to some of the features, not all of them. So I play that. And then Light Sport, which is a subscription thing, I pay $9 a month for it. But if you look at the picture in the show notes, you'll see that I am working out in front of my mirror, which is very fortunate to me. I mean, you don't normally have the mirror. You just are looking at the trainer and doing the workout with the trainer. Well, what I had been doing in the past was streaming what I see in the headset to the laptop, and that was being incorporated in my actual video, that I was also using these cameras to show my what I'm doing in IRL while I'm doing it in VR. But I realized that I could record a better video of what I'm doing with the headset, and then I would combine the two. So I've been trying that, and I'm having fun with my technology. And the other thing I'm doing when I'm doing my workouts, besides the Light Sport is good because I can use weights. I'm using actual physical weights. And then when I'm punching, when I'm doing the boxing, I'm using my my VR boxing gloves, so I'm getting the feel of boxing. And then for my cardio, I do like a half an hour. I usually do a half an hour of on the elliptical using HoloFit. And I put a screenshot in the show notes that shows me as I'm on the elliptical, I'm actually riding through different maps. But this month, they are having a Easter egg hunt. And as you go through the various maps they have and you find the different Easter eggs, you then get all these new gear. So I'm getting my bunny rabbit gear, and I'm getting my and I got my bunny rabbit shoes and stuff, and it's kind of neat. I mean, it's just skins, and I like when we get different skins in the different games. So I'm having fun with these games, and I actually bought a new game, and I'll put some screenshots in the show notes. It's called Civilization 7. Now, have you played any Civilization games?
I have Civilization 6.
So I think I might have played 2 or 3 back in the day, but it seems like they've gotten more complicated. There's a whole social system. You can pick different leaders, and the leaders have different types. You can start in different parts of the world. I actually chose Harriet Tubman to be my leader in Civilization 7. So it's in VR, but you are still, you can kind of get in with it, but it's still like you're looking at the table that you normally play. I really have to just figure out some more of what I'm doing, because right now I'm just clicking and watching things grow and watching the civilization grow and trying to be aware of my neighbors, because eventually I'll have to go to war. But I wanted to try it mainly because it's a big game in VR. A lot of the games I buy, sometimes they're little games that are just small companies that are putting together. But of course, this is the big game by what's the guy's name? Sid Meier. Yes.
Yep.
It was $60. I did buy it from one of the influencers on YouTube, and I used their codes. I got 10% off, but that's a lot of money to spend on a game. But the graphics are amazing, and I just dipped my toe in. Next episode, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what I'm doing. But I'm having a blast in VR. My only problem I'm having now that is so silly is my floor where I have my VR set up squeaks.
Oh.
So I'm worried about... I've talked to my neighbor. I had said something to my neighbor before, and she says it doesn't bother her. But I'm thinking about changing my setup so that I'm on a different part of my floor when I work out. So when I play, because I'm very active. I'm walking. I'm doing stuff, and especially when I'm working out, I'm moving a lot, and I don't want to disturb my neighbors. But yeah, I'm having fun. I'm loving VR. I'm loving. I almost forgot. I do have one last thing. I put a link in the show notes to a article on PC Gamer about a way you can find out how much money you've spent on your Steam account. Now you have Steam, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and I have a lot of games on Steam, and in the article, various people talked about when it's a special way you have to go through in your account, and it'll tell you all that you have spent. And I have 2 Steam accounts. That's a long story, but I went in and I thought I needed. At the time I wanted to go from my I had two Zenith's accounts, but I wanted to play on Steam because of the way it's just easier to record than it was at the time, although I figured out later how to cast my Meta account to my computer. But I set up another Steam account so that I could have my other Meta account on there. But anyway, so I have 2 Steam accounts. One I have spent $164, but my original account that I started on February 24th, 2018, I spent $1,016, which so for a total I've spent a little under $1,200 altogether on Steam, but that's in the last 7 years, and I've had more than and probably if I looked at what I had spent on World of Warcraft, since 2006, I've probably spent way more than that, and I've gotten I've gotten so much entertainment out of that $1,200, and some of the people on in the article, if you go to the link, they had spent over some people up to $16,000. There were games. There's a lot of games where people have bought in skins or they bought in expansion packs. So I think I've done pretty well, and I've gotten a lot of entertainment.
Yeah, I paid my sub, my Final Fantasy sub. I pay through Steam. I play through Steam as well. So obviously that's going to be part of that number as well.
Right. So yeah, but we get so much enjoyment, and even if when I was playing World of Warcraft, I was spending $60 a month because I had 4 accounts because I was multi-boxing. Sometimes I would cut it back to 2, but even then, $60 a month or whatever isn't going to get you a movie and a meal now. If you go out to the movies, you're going to spend way more than that.
If you go, and especially if you go with like your significant other or
kids,
having
whole family
with kids, you're like way north of 100.
Right, parking and everything else. So I think video games actually save me money, and it saved my sanity. And I'm just going to close out with, we're going to be playing the Clan of Darkness. We're going to miss you, Caoboi, and Renee. I hope you can get through this. I know from, losing Vishna, it's very hard. It's extremely hard. But thank you for listening. You can write us at ctrlaltwow@gmail.com. You can find the show notes at ctrlaltwow.com. And we thank you for listening. And this is April PVD.
And this is Pink Negus, Rule of Acquisition, number 19. Satisfaction is not guaranteed. Bye, guys.
Clan of Darkness.
Oh, yeah.
We are the mighty Clan of Darkness.
Of Darkness.
We are the mighty Clan of Darkness, fighting for Bunny's rights.
Oh, Bunny.
We shall never slay them, and if we do, we'll never tell. We gotta have the faith that Krishna will guide the way.
Trust Krishna.
He says not to slay the bunnies, but most of us still do. We are the mighty Clan of Darkness. We are the mighty Clan of Darkness. We are the mighty Clan of Darkness, fighting for Bunny's rights.
C.O.D. Clan of Darkness.
We are the mighty Clan of Darkness.
Clan of Darkness.
Fighting for Bunny's rights.
Clan of Darkness.
We are the mighty Clan of Darkness.
Clan of Darkness.
Yeah.
C.O.D. y'all.
On the WOW.
For Bunny's rights.
For the horde. For the bunnies. For the critters.
For Java.
For the Java. They can't bounce up in here.